Hi, I'm Ron. Hey, in another video, I showed this tripod that I modified to be the ideal light stand for speed lights. There's nothing really on the market that does quite what I need, and I explained that in detail in the previous video. So if you want to find out more, you can go there and look. But I talked about how I took these inexpensive, and when I say inexpensive, I mean very inexpensive. This is the Amazon Basics brand. It's an aluminum, very lightweight tripod that goes up to 5 feet. And because it's a video tripod, the legs are connected. They're not independent of each other. So I get this perfect alignment of the legs so that even at 5 feet, I can have the feet almost all the way in and have this perfectly plumb stand that won't tip over, so that I can get my light, my speed lights in when I'm shooting residential. We're normally shooting pretty wide, you know, anywhere from say 20 millimeters up to about 24. And so putting lights where you need them, a lot of times they're, you know, right on the edge. You want to get those legs from coming into your shot. So, and they're also easy where I can grab, you know, 3 or 4 of them in one hand and move them to the next room. But again, I couldn't find anything on the market. What you can get standard is these small light stands, which pretty much I've converted this into this, only this has to spread out a lot further, and I haven't found any brand that does it spread out pretty wide. They're real stable, and I still need them for certain situations, but for most, these work really well. So what I want to do is, I talked about how easy it was to make the conversion. Now it is a permanent conversion. I'm actually going to break this, but this Amazon Basic tripod, when I bought them, were $23 a piece delivered. I saw them later drop to $19, so you can watch the price. They're inexpensive, and the more expensive video tripods, the really nice heavy ones, those wouldn't work as well. So these actually being the least expensive, just a cheapie, really works the best. So what I've done is take off the head, the fluid head that holds the video camera permanently. Again, these are inexpensive, so they don't design these to be changed out. And I've put in one of these spigots, and these are a standard, you know, I have lots of these. These work with the standard light stands. This is a standard thing that any photographer that works with lights is going to have. And then one of these little heads, again, bunches of these, they work on any of my stands. So the only real expense, in addition to what I already have, is the tripod itself. But if you don't have these spigots, they're about $6 a piece. And these heads with the cold shoe are, there's probably 50 different brands, and they're all decent. With the cold shoe, these run $12 to $40. And I actually put a link in the other video of my favorite one, and it was $20 including the cold shoe. So $26 plus the tripod, and you've got an excellent stand. So how to make this into this? Pretty straightforward, pretty easy. But since I had to figure it out, I thought I would just share that with you guys that may have the same situation. So on the top of the tripod, there is a cap, and it almost looks like it would screw off. In fact, I thought it would, and I tried it with some pliers, tried to work it loose, and it wasn't coming off. So I realized I was going to have to wedge that off. And I still thought I might get it off in one piece, but like I said, it really wasn't worth trying to put them back on later. So any kind of flat edge, I used an old beater chisel, and I get right under that lip there and just get it started. I'm just going to break it off, so I'm not worried about hurting anything. So once I break that off, that's holding the tripod on, then I can finish pulling it off. May need a little help there. So the tripod, the head comes off. You could save it and try to use it for something else, but I don't need it. And then there's a screw right on the side that holds this collar on, It's a Phillips head, and you're going to need that screw to put the spigot on. It's going to be what holds the spigot in place. So I'm going to pull that screw all the way out. And then this collar is wedged on, and I couldn't get it to come off very easily. In fact, I could try it again with some pliers. I've been taking it off with a hammer, but I'm going to try it again just to see if it can be twisted off. Yeah, it just doesn't want to come off easily. So what I found worked the best, and I'm not afraid of damaging anything. It's pretty durable. I just crank the post up, the center column up, so that I've got room to tap it with the hammer, and I mean tap it good, you know, a good couple of good whacks. So that one took 3 whacks, popped it right out, no damage to the column, and then I have the threaded hole. So all I'm going to do now is take the spigot, and it doesn't really matter. This is a 3/8 on one end, a 1/4 on the other. These are reversible. I use the 1/4 inch more than the 3/8, so I will just drop that in. Again, I can always loosen it up and flip it over, just like I could do with a regular light stand. Then I'm going to take that screw and use that to hold the spigot in. And it'll push it over to one side a little bit. It's not perfect alignment, but it doesn't matter in this operation. I just want it to hold it in there. And that's it. Took me probably 20 minutes to do the first one because I was working at it. And since I figured it out, now you know how to do it. 5 minutes and you're ready to go. And then take your standard speedlight heads and put it on there, and it works just like a standard stand, except you've got the ability now to have it be real narrow to hold your flashes up. And again, fully extended, goes to 5 feet. And these also hold umbrellas, so that if I'm using a big umbrella, a small umbrella, any kind of reflector, I can use that to hold it as well. One other modification I made, and it's not necessary, there's a handle on this so you can pick them up and move them, and that is kind of handy, except I can grab these legs just as easy and move them around. And because I carry 6 of these as well as a couple other light stands in this smaller bag, I had a little tougher time fitting them in, so I found that if I remove this handle, it just makes them just a little bit tighter. There's a Phillips head screw right on the top, and I'll just pull that out. And then on the bottom, it's just kind of it's got a clip, it's just clipped on. Force it off comes the handle, and that just slims it up just a little bit more than with the handle sticking out on it. And like I said, the handle doesn't really work for what I'm doing. It's really handy in the video world, because if your video camera is mounted and you've set up in your tripod, it's a great way to pick it up and get a nice motion. But again, for what I'm doing, I'm moving it and setting it, so grabbing one of the legs, not a problem. Or I can put my hand around 2 legs, carry it like that. Well, hopefully you real estate photographers out there will find this handy. Thanks for taking the time to watch. Have a great day.